its tall windows, equally spaced on either side of a massive white oak front door. It looked like something from a fairy tale. Rosie let go of her fear and allowed herself to imagine princesses inside, singing fanciful songs and sipping tea from dainty china cups. Small waves of pleasure flowed through her as she stood, lost in her imagination. Distant shouts startled her, and she remembered why she had come. Reluctantly, she tore her eyes away from the house, stepped out of her imagination, and bent down to pull on her boots, carefully tying the laces. Straightening up, she tucked her black curls behind her ears and smoothed out her striped cotton smock, hoping no one would notice where Ma had carefully mended it. She took a deep breath and, remembering Ma's directions, hurried along the path and under the archway that led to the stables and courtyard. By the time she ducked in through the kitchen door at the rear of the house, her sweet fantasies had evaporated. The heat of the kitchen slammed into her like a fist, knocking her backwards. Fire roared in a massive black oven, on top of which steaming pots shuddered. The cook stood at a wooden table in the centre of the kitchen, shouting instructions at a young maid. A boy shovelled coal into the oven to keep the fire going. Maids and footmen rushed in and out, fetching and carrying buckets and mops, dishes and linens. Gardeners hauled in baskets of vegetables, while a gamekeeper tossed a brace of dead fowl on the kitchen table. The girl watched them, fascinated. "Who are you?" the cook shouted. Rosie looked up in awe at the giant of a woman with black hair and ruddy cheeks who frowned down at her. "Rosie Killeen, miss." "Ah, you'd be Bridie's sister come to help out. How old are you?" "8 last month, miss." "Old enough, then. Well, don't be standing there like a spare dinner. Make yourself useful. Start peeling them spuds." Rosie swallowed hard. "Yes, miss." At 10 o'clock, the butler came into the kitchen and clapped his hands. "Everyone up to the front steps," he shouted. "Her Majesty Queen Victoria is about to arrive. Come quickly now. You know your places." The female servants smoothed their uniforms with red hands and arranged unruly hair under caps, while the men dusted themselves down and stood erect. One by one, they marched to the back stairs that led up into the main house. Rosie lined up behind them, but the firm pressure of the butler's hand on her shoulder stopped her. "You stay here," he said. Rosie's heart sank. She looked around her. There were no windows in the room or in the adjoining servants' hall. How was she going to see the Queen? After all, such a prospect was the reason she'd come to help at the big house. The moment her sister Bridie, a housemaid there, had told her family about the Queen's visit and that extra help would be needed, Rosie had clapped her hands and jumped up and down. "Can I go?" she had begged. "Oh, please, Bridie, I've never seen a Queen before." Bridie had been about to say no, but Ma had interceded. "Oh, let her go," she said. "Can't you see how excited she is?" Now it looked as if she would not see the Queen after all. Fighting back tears, she looked around her. Surely there must be a window somewhere. Gathering her courage, she tiptoed out of the kitchen and into a long, dark corridor. Looking over her shoulder to make sure no one was about, she pushed open a door and found herself in the butler's quarters. Forgetting her fear, she rushed over to the small basement window and, pressing her face against it, peered out through the dusty panes. From her vantage point, if she craned her neck enough, she could see the people assembled on the front steps of the house. A finely dressed man and woman she took to be Lord and Lady Ennis, the master and mistress of the big house, standing together on the bottom steps. Crowded behind them were their guests, colourful as peacocks. Stretched across the bottom of the steps, to one side of their employers, were the servants, arranged strictly in order of importance, the butler, standing closest to the master, and the scullery maid the farthest away. At the clatter of approaching carriages, Rosie stood on tiptoe. Gravel hopped and skittered under its wheels as the first carriage